Hello, everyone, and happy holidays 2020, ushering in 2021. And I hope during this year, I hope that playing the violin, practicing the violin, even being frustrated with the violin brought you joy, okay? And just lifted you out of all of the worry and the concern of what we're all going through together. So what I'm giving to you this Christmas is a version of green sleeves. So this is kind of a more historical version. Okay, what I didn't know is that this originally was a ground, and I even had to really think back into my, college days, and it's like, well, what is a ground? Well, a ground is a very simple compositional form where you have a repeating bass line over and over and over and over, and then you have a melody, and then variations of the melody. So there are, I think, 15 variations, and I'm approaching this sort of in this late Renaissance, early Baroque style, okay? Which means open strings are okay because they certainly, had these gut strings, so they were not, they weren't afraid to use them, okay? So they weren't taboo, that is. So this is an A minor, which means second fingers are going to be low on the A string. They're going to be low on the E string. And now, if we have A minor, we have a leading tone. We have a G sharp. So I'm going to forewarn you about all of the high third fingers, particularly, well, this one, your high G sharp, high third finger on the D string. So already tell your third finger, just have a little conversation about, how you expect it to prepare and to reach for all of those G sharps. So I'm going to just kind of go through the variations. I'll put the graphics up so you can skip ahead if there's, for some of you, this is just going to be easy peasy reading and you're just going to, fly through this. For others, you might want to maybe get a little more information on playing these other variations. So here we go. Variation 1. This is the theme. And it's not exactly as you're used to hearing it. I added a little hooked bow in measure 3. So I'm going to start at the top. And I'm going to use open E because it's okay. Now, I'm going to use the tiniest little down bow here. Up, down, up. Now, up, up. There's my hook. Stretch, retake. Now I'm going to hook this one. Not hooking here. Okay, so one thing I tried to pay attention to was always is when I put in bow markings or indications is meter. Okay, I always want to bring out whatever the meter is, and in this case we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So it's in 6/4. All right, you don't. It's a compound meter. You don't even really have to know what that is, but you do have to feel groupings of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think you will because you know the piece so well. All right, now variation 2, we have lots of hooked bows on this one because we have these dotted rhythms, da, 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 bum, ba, bum, bum, and we want that grouping. 1, da, da, 2, da, da, 1, da, da, 2. So this is in, okay, I know I just said there were 6 beats in this piece, but think of them as 2 big beats. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So dum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum. And the little short notes, just a little push, just a tiny little shove with the wrist. Dum, ba bum, bum, bum. Just that. Now I didn't have a hooked bow there at the end in measure 15 because so I could land down bow on the cadence. Now there's a trill on that G sharp. So for those of you who are shifting, shift to first position or second position. If you want, or don't put in a trill at all. Now variation number 3 is the B theme. Okay, so maybe that's why this ground was so popular back then, was because, you know, it actually had 2 parts to it and not just one theme over and over. So now I decided on this bowing. So you start down bow, and now we have a pattern. Up, up, up. Okay, now don't let that little grace note fool you. It's not a big deal. This is like a little accented, we call it a appoggiatura, 2-1, C-B, and then, okay. All right, now variation 4, it's like arpeggios. It's etude time. So this time, I really am going to bring out the big beats. Otherwise, it does sound just like an etude. So da 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 da. Okay. So variation 5 is, I think, one of my favorites. Okay, I think it's just a fun one. So low 2, up, up. So that way I can trill on a down bow. I find it easier to trill on a down bow because I feel like the pull of my bow is like the cord of a lawnmower. It just sort of gets the motor of my trill going. So that's one of the images I think of. Okay, so we have one shift in there, and that's the measure 35. Back down. Okay. All right, so in variation 6, to me, this really has that Renaissance spirit. I just hear it in the rhythm. I don't know, I can just hear the whole band, you know, I can hear the drums and the little whistle or something. Variation 7, I think, is a little more lyrical, so I'm playing it a little more legato. Variation 8 is a little more challenging. We have some shifts, so we have some scales. Shift here. Now I'm hooking this bow. So relax your weight, shift down again. Down bow. Now, instead of shifting back to first position, I'm going to shift right back to second position. So number 9 are these little waves, kind of these little undulating patterns of running eighth notes. There's a hook here where you would think there would be a retake. So I'll pause so you see what I'm talking about. Now continue down. So variation 10 also has that, Renaissance rhythmic verve, that yet da 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 da. So I'm going to use a little bit more bow on the bigger beats, to really kind of set that rhythm. We also have a shift, and we can do it one or two ways. Okay, I will pause when we get there. Here, you can shift here and be in third position already for this. Or backing up to 76, shift. Now you can also go down to second position here. Okay, I would choose second position so that when you get to 11, variation 11, you're already in second position, because that's the best way to do this one. Okay, so you're in second position. Now, we have to go back to second position. So you're on an E here, and we have to get to this C, okay? So don't just hope for the best. Measure. So first finger, shift up silently to an F. Okay, now your fourth finger, if you were to play an F on the A string, would be right there, right? And then you move it over one. Okay, it's just like little game pieces on a checkerboard. So first position, third position, first, okay, variation 12. It looks again kind of like an exercise. So we're going to bring out those big beats so we really kind of sort of get the bigger organization. And then I'm still going to create a hierarchy. I'm going to have a stronger first beat than a second beat. When I mean second beat, the big two. So 1 da 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 da, 2 da 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 da, 1 da 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 da, 2 da 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 da. And then variation 13, very melodic. Same shift, remember? 1, 1, 4. 2. Now 14, we're almost to the end here, and this is kind of the opposite of variation 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. I wonder if there was anything to that. Well, so in 7 we had these ascending lines, and now we have these descending lines. I'm still going to be very connected. what we end with. Okay, so enjoy this piece.